Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Most Accurate Podcast. I am your host, Jennifer Akins, joined by Justin Edwards, who looks like he's 10 feet taller than me right now. Let's do that. All right. There we go. Now we're about the same. Justin, how's it going? Week 12.
Fantastic. Looking pretty good for the playoff stretch and the leagues that I thought I would. And I'm really bad in the dynasty leagues that I was hoping I would be bad in. So it's not all shabby, actually.
Yeah, I guess that does work out well for you. Yeah, I actually, it's funny. I'm in my main home league that I'm now on a back-to-back run. So this would be a three-peat. I was in last place for the first 4 weeks, and I was like, okay, I will not come in last because I don't come in last in fantasy.
Gotta pass this up.
It's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm fine with not making the playoffs for once. I've won that league more than anyone else. Fine. Meanwhile, here I am in sixth place, ready to hit the playoffs.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm excited about it. I've won 5 straight. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. And then I'm doing all right in some others as well. I am out in Scott Fishbowl though, for sure. My team just, and I've made the playoffs all but 1 year out of, I think, I don't know, 8, 9 that I've been in, but this year is not it. I've accepted defeat, and that's okay. I was telling you off camera here, I am under the weather. I am trying my best to not look or sound or feel under the weather while I do this.
You look great. You sound great.
As we know, the show must go on. Yeah, I don't feel great at all. But the show must go on. And I got my 2 articles in this morning as well, despite not feeling very well and sleeping about 3 hours. But yeah, my kid brought something home, and that's what happens. Yeah. All right. Well, let's get to it here. Let's see. Let's go over oh, hi, everyone. This is the streaming show. I guess I should say that.
They probably know.
They probably know. But every Tuesday, we do quarterback, tight end, kicker, defense. This week, we have 4 teams on a bye. We have the Broncos, the Chargers, the Dolphins, and the Washington Commanders. So people might be scrounging a little bit for streamers. There's also a ton of injuries. So there's that, too. Lee wants to just get to kickers and have a tea. Lee, I'm ahead of you. But
she would prefer that too, actually.
I probably would, but unfortunately, we do have to go over the other positions. Let's first do a quick recap of last week. Last week, the quarterbacks coming in, I said, were horrendous. I said it was Marcus Mariota and then a huge drop. And then you've got Rodgers and Smith, and that's pretty much how it played out. Marcus Mariota was the quarterback 11, so don't hate that. He was a starter, technically. And then Rodgers was 23. He got hurt. And then Geno Smith was quarterback 17 last night. Fine if you started him, whatever. I doubt many of you did, but desperation, is out there. Right. So yeah, I only have 3 with this week, foreshadowing, because it's ugly as well. But we'll get to that later. Justin, how did you do in the tight end department?
Not bad in the grand scheme of things. We did have 3 tight end ones, but just with the nature of tight ends this past week, it really didn't score any points. Dalton Schultz was our number 1 option. He had 8 points, but that was good enough for tight end 10. Nice. Mason Taylor was only the tight end 22. He had 5 points. Luke Musgrave caught one of his 2 targets for -1 yard, so hopefully no one played Luke Musgrave last week. AJ Barner was the tight end 5 with 12.1 points and a couple tush pushes. And the Chigakonkwo only scored 7.1 points, but that was good enough for the tight end 11. So we did fine in terms of tight ends, but none of our guys even scored. Only one person scored double-digit points, so it was good, but also kind of bad.
God, Musgrave reminds me of Khalil Shakir. 1 catch for -3 yards.
A good old 0.2 point day.
He had 0.88, I believe, for me in my league that I started him. Not good. I did win, though, believe it or not, despite that, in that league. But yes, and Khalil Shakir also ended up on my dead weight report this week because I'm done.
Yeah.
Done.
That.
I mean, look, they didn't even have Kincaid or Coleman, and he's still, it's just.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Done. They're running out Gabe Davis over him.
And, a couple others as well. I mean, Mecole Hardman, who didn't even have a catch, had more yards than him because he had 0. Okay.
Yeah, didn't Tyrell Schaefer's have 20 points? Anyways, we can move on.
Yeah, we can move on.
The Bills' pass catching unit is upsetting.
It is. All right, getting to kickers from last week. It was a decent week. We had the best kicker of the week was Matthew Wright at kicker 7. And then, I'm sorry, him and Riley Patterson. Wait, hold on. Is that right? Yes. Him and Riley Patterson were both tied for kicker 7. Borgalis, who was the main kicker there that I put up, was kicker 14, so not horrendous. Will Riker, not great at kicker 23. Harrison Mevis, kicker 27. I have to say, I did not put him on the show, but Zane Gonzalez was kicker 4, who was in my article, but I have to,
You
trim.
can count it.
I mean,
I
I
approve.
thank you. I mean, he was in my article. He's the one guy I trimmed, and then he was the kicker 4. So my luck that week. So yeah, how do we do in defense?
Pretty run of the mill. I only came with 3 as well, or I only came with 3 defenses last week. Same with the quarterbacks. Wasn't a ton of options. Falcons scored 4 points against the Panthers. They were tied for defense 17. Not great. Bears scored 5 points against the Vikings somehow. So they were only the defense 14.
Somehow.
And then the Cowboys had 9 points last night, and they were the defense 4. So not bad. Nothing to sink your week, but I'm not going to hang my hat on a defense 4 when I've got 17 and 14 up there too.
Yeah, it's tough to do that, but sometimes we do.
Right.
All right, we're gonna get to the weird sport of the week. I actually have, hold on a second. I have a link which might help those of you out there. Can I do this from here? I've never actually. Let's see.
You could like share screen. This is a weird time to learn.
I did it.
Oh no, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, look at me. Okay, so there's office chair racing everywhere. In fact, there's one not local, but local America. There's a big race in San Clemente that I found. It was kind of boring though. Like they just attach office chairs to like 3-wheelers, and you know what I mean? Like it wasn't as fun. But the one I found is in Japan.
That's the one I found too.
Yeah, this is the office chair race Grand Prix. If you watch okay, first of all, it's a 200-meter course for 2 hours. They do this. 2 hours. And if you watch the video, they trade off. It's like a relay. Like there's like a team. Like, yeah, you, I guess, do a couple laps and then you tag in someone else. So when I watched the video, what I found interesting is, and it makes sense, they start out backwards, right? I mean, you're going to get more traction and more speed if you're going to go backwards, and then they flip. They all flip at like the same time. I don't know if it's there's a thing, right? Like a known timing issue.
It's choreographed.
But like when you get to this acceleration point or whatever, we all flip. They wear helmets and they're in like legit office chairs, so it's not like the one that I found in San Clemente. Like they just kind of rigged, they put office chairs on other things and ran. Yeah. This is just straight up your run-of-the-mill office chair with the crappy wheels that spin underneath you, and then you can't, but yeah, the thing I found, interesting about it was the 2-hour span. I was like, that's a long time to be out there wheeling a lot of
office chair.
Well, around a course, like, I mean, it's fun for 5 minutes, right? When you do it yourself, but like, how long are you really going to go out there and do that? So that's that. I tried to kind of, as I say every week, it's getting harder, but I was trying to find some sort of pre-Thanksgiving, but I mean, there's not a lot, so I guess I'll wait till next week.
Did you see the winner of the Japanese one gets like a 90 kg bag of rice?
No, I did not see that, but that's awesome.
Rice.
That's a lot of rice, but they do eat a lot of rice in that cuisine. So I'm sure it will come in handy. All right, so that's that. Weird sport of the week. Let's move on here. I'm going to actually close this so my computer runs a little better now. But for anyone that cares, the link is in the comments there. It's kind of a fun watch, at least for a little bit. I don't know about the full 2 hours.
Maybe not all. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that video is 2 hours. I didn't get past the first 15 seconds, but I thought it was kind of cool. Okay. Let's move on to actual streamers. As always, to be considered for this show and our articles, streamers must be rostered in 40% or under in Yahoo leagues. All right, quarterback this week is not pretty again. I mean, it's fine. It's just not. I couldn't get more than 3. In fact, the third is a stretch. Really, it's not pretty. But
it's the same in tight end streets too.
Yeah. Okay, good. First one is Jacoby Brissett, who I am confident in. That's a good streamer. He's playing at home against the Jaguars. He is 35% rostered, so he's still there for streaming eligibility. So since taking over since week 6, he's had 2 games over 320 yards, and he's had 11 total touchdowns. The Jaguars are 29th in schedule adjusted fantasy points allowed to the quarterback. They've allowed 21 touchdowns this season to quarterbacks, which is the fourth most. So I think he's a good option based on kind of what we have going on there. So Jacoby Brissett is one, as Justin says, with a bullet. And then
bullet.
with a bullet. And then we move on to number 2 is Bryce Young, which is not a horrible option. And he's only 13% rostered. He is on the road, though, against the 49ers. He's coming off a ridiculous monster game for him. I believe it's the best of his career, 448 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Sure. Yeah.
I didn't look it up, but I think that we can safely say that it is.
Yeah.
Like I said, 448 yards, 3 touchdowns. The thing that intrigued me a little bit here is that Carolina's probably going to get down, I would think, against San Francisco. So he's going to probably have to throw more. And San Francisco's actually 27th in adjusted fantasy points allowed to quarterback. So good matchup, good game script possibly, and coming off a good game. So Bryce Young is number 2. Third is lower down, and that's Tyler Shough against Atlanta at home.
Shucky baby.
Let's go. He is 3% rostered. So for those of you in larger formats, or if there's quarterback hoarders in your league, he should be there. He looked better in his second career start last week. He had 282 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Falcons are 17th against the quarterback, so they're kind of, a little worse than the middle of the pack, I guess. So it's a decent enough matchup. I don't have anything else really to say about that, but Tyler Shough is an option. He is a body.
He definitely looked a lot better.
Yeah, and he's better. I mean, honestly, the other options out there, like the other streaming possibilities, just have horrible matchups and are just not in a good spot. So to wrap that up, we've got Jacoby Brissett at the top by himself. Bryce Young is fine, and then Tyler Shough should be okay.
Yeah. And I can piggyback right off that into tight ends too, where
let's do it.
Like every single positive matchup. Well, there's one positive matchup I found. Every positive matchup.
All the way down my
I saw nothing.
You can't see my shirt anyway, so it doesn't matter. Right. There's a full dribble of tea going all the way down. All right, go ahead.
Every tight end streamer who has a positive matchup this week, or every tight end, is well above 40% rostered. So it's like it's kind of playing with fire here. But I do have 5 options. They are not the greatest options.
All right.
I had to make the article.
I hear you. I hear you.
Well, oddly enough, the streamer of the week, which might be hilarious in retrospect, is AJ Barner against the Titans. He's only 9% rostered. He's coming off of that career performance. He's only a sophomore, but his best game of his 2-year career, 11 targets, 10 receptions. Couple
on
carries.
Several of my benches, but that's okay.
A couple tush pushes too.
Nice.
But they were just for first downs, no touchdowns this time. We'll see how much the Seahawks are going to have to throw the ball against the Titans. They're 13.5-point favorites, so maybe Barner gets there in the first half. Maybe he takes some quarterback snaps. Sam Darnold takes the fourth quarter off. Who could say? The Titans rank 8th on the year and scheduled just fantasy points allowed to tight ends. But over the last 3 games, they've allowed Tyler Warren, Gadsden, and Schultz to break 50 yards. So that's not too shabby. If you think chasing 11 targets out of AJ Barner is a thin play, it gets thinner from AJ Barner. That's the best matchup. Following him, we do have Mason Taylor. The Jets are turning back to Rod Taylor. Back in week 3, Taylor's 36 pass attempts were the most for a Jets quarterback this week, outside of one Justin Fields start. So we should see some more volume out of the passing attack, which is great news for Mason Taylor, who's essentially the number 1 pass catcher with no Garrett Wilson out there. Considering Fields' scramble rate and his inaccuracies, we should hopefully get some more raw targets out of Mason Taylor. But obviously there's a cap here because they're probably going to also be blown out by the Baltimore Ravens. Below that, getting even deeper, surprisingly, we have Harold Fannin, who's back down to 40% rostered. So he's back in our streaming plays. It looks like he's going to get Shedeur Sanders as his quarterback, who looked absolutely miserable in his time on the field. He completed 4 of his 16 passes. So not great. Fannin really hasn't been an option for us for a long time, and that's why he's only 40% rostered. They do have a terrible team total, but they are huge underdogs. Well, not huge, but they're 3-point underdogs at home. So that's like a 5.5-point underdog against the lowly Raiders. So we'll see how competitive this is. Fannin does have that athleticism to possibly take a couple passes and get us 50, 60 yards. Sticking on the mindset of just attacking athletes, we've got Chigakonkwo going against the aforementioned Seahawks. No more Calvin Ridley. It's not as if Ridley was really boxing anyone out since his 10 target week 3, and then he spent a lot of time on the sideline. So Okonkwo gets the Titans, the Seahawks, not the Titans. He plays for the Titans.
He
That would be
does.
weird.
He
And
does.
that's about all I have on Okonkwo, honestly. He's an athlete. They could be looking to see what they can get out of him. It's the last month and a half of his rookie contract. Are they going to let him walk? Probably. They got Gunnar Helm. But if not, maybe they want to see what they get out of him in a more featured role. And even deeper, maybe, if we're about as in the dredges as we possibly could at this point. But Jatavian Sanders plays the 49ers. He's only 1% rostered. He spent a lot of his season on the sidelines as well with that high ankle sprain that he suffered in week 3. He has been sharing the field with Tommy Tremble, but he does have a reasonable 17.5% target share over the last 2 games. The 49ers do rank 27th in tight end AFPA. And over the last couple of weeks, they got torched by Trey McBride, which makes sense. And then all 4 Rams tight ends, which makes a little less sense. I think it was 3 touchdowns between the 4 of them a couple of weeks ago. So putting a bow on that just package of coal, we've got just a second. That was last week's options.
I know. I was just going to say, I've been surprised this whole time because you didn't update it. So I'm like, who's next? I don't know. Who are they playing? I don't know.
I'm reading off my article. Yeah, I didn't update any of that. Hey, I updated the defenses. So anyways, put a bow on a different Google sheet, a Google Doc. AJ Barner is 9% rostered against the Titans. He's my number 1 streamer of the week. Mason Taylor gets the Ravens. He's at 17%. Harold Fannin gets the Raiders. He's at 40%. Jatavian Sanders is only at 1% against the 49ers. Chigakonkwo is at 15%. And before I move on, I do want to say, even if you don't like any of these guys or you have a better tight end option, both Darren Waller and Brenton Strange look like they're going to come off the IR in the next week or 2. Strange might even play this week. Either of those guys are very good stashes, and then you won't have to deal with quite this mess come week 13.
Lee's wondering if Taysom Hill's going to get a carry.
I guarantee Taysom Hill gets a carry. But will he get 2 carries or a target? That's the problem.
Right.
He might throw for 25 yards too.
That would be okay, I guess, if you start him. But
that's like a 1 point.
That gets you 1 point. Yeah, that doesn't really do much. Depending, leagues are different. Okay. Let's keep rolling because we don't have any questions today, which is fine with me. I mean, I welcome them. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah,
it hurts to talk. Okay. I'm just kidding. This is fantastic. All right, kickers. Lee, since you might be the only one here, I'm getting to kickers now.
T and kickers.
Okay, so kickers is okay. We've got a couple question marks at kicker, which fit in the streaming realm. So there's always that. But yeah, so, keeping with last week, we have Andres Borregales again as the number 1 option. That's where the process leads. So that's what we're
Borregales.
doing. I couldn't come. By the way, I need to back up for a second. When I did the Aurora Borealis, I didn't even realize it was happening last week. That's
I didn't either.
Right? And then remember I did that was my little pun for my
yeah.
And then 2 days later, it was the Northern Lights. I was like, wait a minute, that's really creepy because I didn't know that.
I didn't either. Yeah.
I was just rhyming his name. Anyway, he is the number 1 streamer this week. He's on the road against the Bengals. He's only 10% rostered. They have the second highest team total of the week at 28. And they are favored by 7.5 points. So it's pretty good setup there for Borregales. All right. So the second kicker I have is Rams kicker against the Bucs. Yeah, against the Bucs. So we don't know who the Rams kicker is. It could be Joshua Carty. It could be thicker kicker Harrison Mevis. It could be other. We don't know at the moment. So, basically they have the same team total as the Patriots. They have 28 points. against the Bucks, and they're favored by 6.5, which kind of surprises me, but it is what it is. So yeah, I would just keep an eye on that. I'm not sure if they're going to deem Cardi okay and Yip free and go with him, or I believe they have one more escalation of or elevation, I should say, of Mevis from the practice squad because he went back down, and I think he can come back up one more time. They may bring in a free agent today or tomorrow. Who knows? But so that's my second kicker is Rams kicker. Third kicker I have is Jake Elliott, who was surprisingly back in the streaming streets. He hasn't been there all season. I'm not sure why people got rid of him because he's actually fine. I closed that window. All right. So he's on the road against the Cowboys, right? We've got an NFC East showdown. Those are always fun. And they have a 27.5 team total, and they are favored by 4.5.
He scored 10 points last week.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know his full where he stands on the season, but I know he was fine last week, and I'm not sure why. Maybe I don't know. Anyway, he is there and available, and he also has a pretty favorable schedule. So if you grab him and hang on to him, you should be fine. Okay, my fourth kicker is once again a fill in the blank later in the week. 49ers kicker. So I don't know. I mean, Eddie Pinheiro has a hamstring injury. They are allegedly working people out today and tomorrow, unless something happened in the last hour. At the moment, we don't know. So that's what's happening there. But they're playing the Panthers at home. They have a 27 point team total, and they're favored by 6.5. And Kyle Shanahan has no problem settling for field goals. So I'm all about whoever it is there. And I can't give you a percentage because I don't know. I mean, whoever they pick up is probably 0. If it's Pinheiro, he is too high for streaming. But he's got a hammy, and you kind of need I can't imagine that you can kick with a hamstring injury.
Right.
Regardless of which leg it is, right? I mean, I feel like you can maybe do other positions more so, but I think kicking would be, you're isolating that. I don't know. I'm no doctor.
You really gotta
I'm no doctor or physical
like
therapist. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
You really got to plant that leg,
Right? And then if you're kicking with it, you're using that too. So
right.
Like I said, I'm no doctor or physical therapist or trainer or anything medical. But I would think that they're probably going to find somebody else. All right, I've got one more here, which I did write it down. And that is Cairo Santos at home against the Steelers. He is 21% rostered. Coming off a good week again. I mean, the Bears are rolling. Well, I don't know if it's rolling, but they're winning. And that game, the Bears are favored by 3, and they have a 24-point team total. So decent. So wrapping it up, we got Borregales, Rams kicker, Jake Elliott, 49ers kicker, and Cairo Santos.
Just grab someone from the NFC West.
Yeah. Looks like we have a question here from Dustin Wells, 289. Who would you guys prioritize off waivers? Christian Watson, Emmanuel Wilson, or Bam Knight?
I think it probably matters what you need. If you need a running back for week 12, I think it's probably got to be Emmanuel Wilson because I don't think Josh Jacobs is going to play. But if he misses time, I think it's only going to be this week. If you need a long-term boom bust wide receiver, then I'd rather have Watson. And then for Bam, I think Trey Benson could return. I don't know that he can return this week, but I'm pretty sure should be good to go by week 13. So it just depends on if you need something right now or for the rest of the season.
I can dig it. I like it. All right, next one. Hi, fellas. Do I look like a dude right now? I know I have a hat on, and I'm sick, but geez. All right, Daniel. Or Daniel. Let's call you Daniela. I'm totally kidding. I get it. Most podcasts are dudes, so you just write it. I get it. I had Juwan Johnson and then dropped him for Gadsden. Should I pick him up from the wire? Who should I keep rest of season? Juwan Jennings or Pearsall? PPR league, 1 quarterback, drop dart for Danny Dimes. All right, so we've got 3 questions here within one. I'll let you tackle the first one.
Yeah,
at least.
Okay. Juwan Johnson for Gadsden. Should I pick him up from the wire? I think Juwan Johnson is a fine addition. I don't know that I would drop Gadsden through the bye if you don't have to. I think Juwan Johnson is a fine play. I think he's like a top 16 tight end, but I think Gadsden could be a top 5 tight end after this bye week. So I wouldn't drop him if you don't have to.
All right, and then we're looking at Jennings or Pearsall. God, that's a tough one.
I've been on Team Pearsall, but it has
I
not
have
been a very
too.
good.
I
It's
know.
not been a very good year to be on
That's
Team
kind
Pearsall.
of, and I actually don't.
They had very similar routes last week, but I think Pearsall only had 1 target. But it was his first game back.
He had 3 targets.
Okay.
Oh no, yeah, 3 targets, 1 reception for no yards, or at least that's what it says here. Which
No, I think that's right. And then Jennings had like 8 targets, but it was Pearsall's first game back. But also,
every time I give up on Jennings,
healthy,
every time I give up on Jennings, he's okay. And then they have Purdy back too, which
right,
helps both of them really. I mean, I guess it depends on your roster. Like if that's it, like I guess, but like you may keep both and have someone else that's worse. I don't know. I don't think having 2 people on the same team, especially if they're a good offense, is a bad thing at times.
Yeah, it's probably Jennings, but I wish it was Pearsall.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm like, yeah, maybe you should drop someone else because I really want it to be Pearsall. But at the same time, like we're in week 12, like there's 3 weeks to the playoffs. Like if they're not happening now, I mean, granted he's been hurt, but and then last one is Dart for Danny Dimes.
I would assume they're going to run him less because they were talking about how, they fired Dayball for giving him 12 concussions.
I'm looking at the.
I don't remember who.
I'm looking at the schedules real quick.
Colts play.
When I'm looking at schedule rest of season real quick.
Okay.
Because I assume that's really the question.
Yeah. Jones gets Indy, but I don't remember.
My brain is not even allowing me to put things in alphabetical order. That's how under the weather I am right now, but I'll get there. Jones, that's his last name. Jeez. I'm like Dimes. All right. So yeah, no, I wasn't looking up Dimes. I'm just kidding. I just couldn't remember his last name for a second. Okay, so they have they start out tough and then they get better, right? So they have the Chiefs this week, and then they have Houston, which is not easy. But then it's great. They have two matchups with Jacksonville, and then Seattle and San Francisco. So that's that. And then, of course, Dart still has a bye in week 14, so you got to deal with that.
Oh, yeah.
But the schedule is not horrific. I mean, they've got, Washington, and then a bunch of kind of middling defenses against quarterback, like Minnesota and Las Vegas, or would be the end of the fantasy playoffs, and they're kind of middle of the road. So I don't know. That's a tough one. I would say based on the fact that Dart still hasn't had a bye, then I would probably just go with Jones because I think he's solid enough that you can ride him out.
Their team totals are going to be higher than the Giants too.
Correct. Daniel, you are forgiven. Okay. Let's move on. Did you do defenses yet?
Yeah. No.
You did?
No.
This is a fantastic show, people. Okay. No, you don't have to wrap it up quickly. We're fine. Go for it.
She's loopy. She.
A little bit.
Not him.
A little bit. Go ahead.
All right. Probably number one with the bullet is the Raiders taking on the Cleveland Browns. We don't know who the starter is yet, but it shouldn't matter. At this point in the season, the Cleveland Browns ranked dead last in schedule-adjusted fantasy points allowed to opposing offenses. That's been mostly with Dylan Gabriel, but that was even back with Joe Flacco. And then we kind of mentioned it earlier, but Shedeur Sanders completed 4 of his 16 pass attempts, took 2 sacks.
That's not great, right?
And threw an interception. Yeah, 25% is like I was going to say like 1930s football, but they probably weren't even throwing 4 passes a game. So this is pretty bad stuff from the 5th rounder. Yeah, so the Raiders are available 95% of Yahoo leagues. I think that they're probably the best streaming option, unless the Browns are available on the other side of the ball. I think they're also very good with Myles Garrett getting like 5 sacks a game on a losing team. So Raiders number one, and then if Cleveland is available in your league for whatever reason, grab them instead. Second option here is the Bears getting the Steelers. It's either an injured Aaron Rodgers or Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph has begrudgingly looked kind of fine over the last few years in spot starts, but doesn't make him not a. We can skip that. The Bears have been one of the better DST floors all season. So I think if you're just looking for avoiding a goose egg, they're fine. They're available in 63% of leagues. Below them, I've got the Jags against the Cardinals. Obviously, Jacoby Brissett has looked much better over his last few weeks with Kyler Murray. Well, I guess not a few weeks. It's been like a month and a half now with Kyler Murray on the sideline. But even the combination of
week 6 he took over.
Yeah, so it has been a while. Between Kyler and Jacoby, they still rank 25th against opposing defenses, opposing DSTs. So Jaguars are a perfectly fine play. And then wrapping it up, I've got the 49ers against the Panthers. We've got a banged up defense going against a quarterback coming off of a career day. So it's not a fantastic look. But if all of the other guys, all the other teams are unavailable, I think the 49ers have a good matchup against the Panthers. Bryce has been looking a lot better, but we know his propensity to either throw a pick or take a sack over the years. So to put a bow on those four, I wrote these ones down.
Yes.
The Raiders are definitely the number one DST of the week. They're available in 95% of leagues. The Bears have a pretty good matchup against the Steelers. They're available in 63% of leagues. Jags against the Cardinals. They're available in 79% of leagues. And the 49ers get the Panthers. They're available in 82% of Yahoo leagues.
Nice. Lee wants to know if Chase could play through an appeal. I don't think so. I don't
think he's even appealing.
No, he is.
Oh, he is appealing.
He's appealing because he's saying that he was if he wanted to spit in his face, he would have spit in his face, but he was spitting at the ground, which is why it hit his jersey. That's his argument.
I don't think it's going to work.
Listen, I admire the argument. I don't think it's going to work either. Which is a bummer for those of us who have Ja'Marr Chase in leagues that we need Ja'Marr Chase to produce.
It is a bummer.
That's a bummer. Lee also points out that Pearsall had a high snap share first game back, so that's always
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good for the future there. All right, we are going to, I guess, put a bow on this show.
There's a lot of bows going around. It's almost
a lot
Christmas
of bows.
season,
It is. Yes, people are already. I actually wrote that in my dead weight article this morning because I went Thanksgiving early. Well, I was like, it's a week early, but considering people already have their Christmas trees up, I think I can go a week early for my Thanksgiving pun.
Oh, right. Yeah. I did read that actually.
Oh, you did?
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, well, it's been lovely, everybody. I'm sorry that I've been coughing and sneezing and my brain fog is there, but hopefully I provided, decent advice for the streamers. I know Justin did. For Justin, I am Jennifer, and we will see you guys later.